Odell Beckham Jr. is now a Baltimore Raven. If you're a fantasy football fan like me, you're probably wondering where I should be drafting him in my 2023 fantasy football draft. Well, don't you worry. I've done all the research for you. I have all written down here in this huge notebook. And I'm going to be sharing with you exactly where you should be drafting. So first things we got to look at what Odell did the last time he played a full season of football, which was all the way back in 2021, where he started the season with the Cleveland Browns and was then traded to the Los Angeles Rams, where he eventually won his first Super Bowl. And if we're looking at that season, it looks like Odell played 14 games. He had 44 receptions, 537 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So this means that he had 3.14 receptions per game, 12.205 yards per those receptions, and then 11.36% of his touchdowns, or of his receptions, were touchdowns. So now that we looked at that, the second thing we got to look at is what have the wide receivers for the Baltimore Ravens done fantasy-wise. After analyzing each game from last season, I found that the wide receiver 2 with Lamar Jackson throwing the ball averaged 3.27 receptions per game, 14.69 yards per those receptions, and 3 touchdowns, meaning that 8.3% of their receptions were touchdowns. And with Tyler Huntley as quarterback, the wide receiver 2s averaged 3.67 receptions per game, 8.45 yards per those receptions, and 9.09% of those receptions were touchdowns. Now, the question is, how many games is Odell Beckham going to play? He has not played a full season since 2019 with the Cleveland Browns, so it's been a while. He is very injury prone, as we have seen. So, I'm not wishing injury on everyone, but I do have to account for it. We're trying to win fantasy championships out here. I'm trying to give you the best information possible. So, assuming Odell Beckham plays a full season with Lamar as his quarterback, he will have 54 receptions for 733 yards and 5 touchdowns, totaling out to about 160 fantasy points, which would put him 10th in the league last season. It would make him a third-round fantasy football pick. Now, on average, Odell Beckham plays 12 games a season. With that in mind, he'll have 38 receptions for 517 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging out to about 113 fantasy points. Now, with Tyler Huntley as quarterback, assuming Odell plays a full 17-game season, he will have 58 receptions, 598 yards receiving, and 6 touchdowns. But on an average 12-game season, Lamar will have 41 receptions. Not Lamar. Odell will have 41 receptions, 422 yards receiving, and 4 touchdowns, putting him at 108 fantasy points. Now, if I take that total and average them out, average all of them out, this is what we get. Odell Beckham, throughout the whole season, will have 133.54 fantasy points in total, making it out to be about 7.86 fantasy points per game. This would put him 21st among wide receivers in 2022. And that would make him a fifth round fantasy pick. I say the highest you're going to be taking Odell next season in your fantasy football draft will be in the 3rd round. He has the potential to be a top 10 overall wide receiver with the Ravens, but we got to account for injuries and we got to account for Lamar Jackson. Should probably be expecting to draft him in round 5. Round 7 pass and Odell Beckham is still on the board. Take him. That's the steal of the draft. In the 7th round, I'm hoping you'll have 2 already pretty good wide receivers on your roster. If you add Odell Beckham to that, that's a great flex, or that's an even better bench player to pull off your bench in case someone else gets hurt. That'd be a great pull. So if Odell's there at the 7th round, please take him. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more fantasy football content, want to get more fantasy football advice to help you win your next fantasy championship, then go ahead and watch some more of my videos. If you think I'm a total idiot and you disagree with everything I have to say, let me know down in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you next time. Take care.